Hello friends, in this session we are going to learn about the clavicle bone and about some general features and functions of clavicle bone. So human body consists of two clavicles which is placed horizontally between the shoulder blade of scapula and sternum, and this clavicle bone is a bridge, is an attachment between the upper limb and sternum. This clavicle bone is a bridge. This we can see this is a bridge, and this bridge divided into three parts. First one is acromial end. This acromial end. So this also called as the lateral end, and the middle part is called shaft. Shaft acts as the passage for several muscles like deltoid, pectoralis major, subclavius. So these all muscles get origin and insertion from shaft. So next third part is the sternal end, which also called as a medial end. So the clavicle is divided into three parts: lateral, shaft and medial. So it is the horizontal bone placed between the acromion process of scapula and the manubrium sterni of sternum. So next, there is a small elevation. Here we can see the elevation, which we call it as the conoid tubercle. It is a small tubercle which is present on the lateral side of clavicle, which we call it as a conoid tubercle. And here we can see one line, which this line is called as a trapezius line, from where the trapezius ligament get attached, and the one ligament which we call it as a Coracoclavicular Ligament, which passes between clavicle and coracoid process of scapula. Scapula we are going to discuss in next classes. So from Coracoclavicular ligament is nothing but the ligament which is passes through the clavicle and coracoid process of scapula. So this conoid tubercle is present underneath this ligament. So there is a small tuberosity present here, which we call it as at the medial end of clavicle, which we call it as costal tuberosity, from where the ligament called, this is one ligament is present here. I'm drawing roughly, which we call it as Costoclavicular Ligament. So this is called as a Costoclavicular Ligament. So conoid processes also have one ligament, which we call it as conoid ligament. So this trapezius ligament and conoid ligament, here we can see the conoid ligament and trapezius ligament. So these two ligaments combine to form a coracoclavicular ligament. So this trapezius ligament and the conoid ligament both combine to form a coracoclavicular ligament, which is present at the lateral end of clavicle. So the lateral end of clavicle get attached to the acromion process of scapula, as we can see here. So the medial end get attached to the sternal end of sternum. So here there is a small notch. This notch is present. The medial end is going to attach to this notch, which we call it as the manubrial sterni. What we call it as the manubrial sterni of sternum. So this is the sternum. It is present midline of the human body. Here sternum is present, and this is the body of sternum. So this thing. So next, so here is the lateral side of clavicle, and this is the medial side of clavicle. This is the superior side of clavicle, and this is the inferior side of clavicle. So shaft is nothing but it helps to give origin and insertion of many muscles, like subclavius is a major muscle, and deltoid muscle, pectoralis major muscle. So these all muscles get origin and insertion from here. So next, there is a ligament here. There is a small ligament which passes between the clavicle and the acromio process of scapula, which we call it as acromioclavicular ligament. So there is a ligament which passes between the acromial process of acromial process of scapula to the clavicle. Here, that ligament name is acromioclavicular ligament. So how many ligaments are present in clavicle? Acromioclavicular ligament, trapezius ligament, conoid ligament, which is present near the conoid tubercle. So this trapezius and the conoid ligament both combine to form Coracoclavicular ligament. So this both trapezius ligament and conoid ligament combine to form a Coracoclavicular ligament. So there is another ligament which we call it as here Costoclavicular ligament. So the Costoclavicular ligament is present near the costal tuberosity of the medial side of clavicle. This is present between the first costal cartilage and clavicle. So this ligament name is called Costoclavicular ligament. So next, so what are the functions of clavicle? So it gives protection, attachment, transmit forces. So many muscles get passed from the clavicle which